This is a short presentation about using the smart classrooms to show student work as one of the primary activities in the normal course of teaching. So let's begin with this idea, just-in-time teaching, or JIT. Um, there's a link both to the book here and to a website. The idea of just-in-time teaching is to use online to do pre-class activities, including some little bit of assessment, and then the instructor observing the assessment and then adjusting in-class activities accordingly. So here is an simple example. Um, this is doable in Compass. There is one question on the right, as you can see, that I've called a concept question, and it is demanding a bulleted answer. And then there's a paragraph question to have the respondent give their ideas about why they're answering as they are. You as the instructor in your presentation would take a histogram of all the concept question responses and post a histogram. This is kind of like what people do with clickers, but it would be done in advance of class. And then you would choose illustrative paragraphs from the long answer, copy and paste into your own presentation and discuss a few of those. So your class would begin with data about the student responses, both the histogram to show that not everybody agrees and how do you reconcile that, and then the paragraphs to critique the thinking. So you have some student stuff which you would use to launch your in-class activity. Uh, Here's a completely different idea, which I think is quite useful for student assignments. If you have students doing team assignments, it could even be for individuals, but I think it's a little bit works better psychologically with teams. Then good student work enters the showcase. So instead of posting solutions that you might produce for the student work, have the students look at other work that is done by a good functioning team. The students can benchmark themselves to that standard better than they can to the standard that you would create with your own solutions, and it's a way of giving recognition to the student work. In class, then you can show this and give a sentence or two about one of those good assignments as to why you liked it and what was good about it. Um, Likewise, you can actually do this for projects that are done online, and one of the things that you can do is show students the work from previous cohorts of the course, assuming you have the copyright or the permissions to do that. So students have a way of figuring out what they should be producing. Likewise, you can show work in progress if the students will let you do that. So you can say where they need to get headed, and as with the homework, you can do exemplary projects. I've got some links here to some websites which have interesting student projects. One is in math. Here's a article that got a lot of play in the Chronicle about Jim, who's an instructor who advocates for not using course management systems but using blogs, in which case the student projects would be their writing. Um, Let's talk about students actually doing presentation in the live classroom. They can do that from their seats if they share an application with the presenter's computer, and Google Docs is such an application where they can share, so they can share a Google presentation, or you can use a screen sharing application, of which there are many, to get students to present from their seats, or you can do it more or less the old-fashioned way, which is to have teams of students present in the front of the room. This can also be effective, but maybe a little bit unnerving for your shyer students. So there you have a few ideas. We encourage it. The students will actually enjoy that you're valuing their work. Thanks for listening to this brief presentation.